firm CCV, which has the materials on the sale of enriched uranium, is located in a suburb of Paris. We set up a meeting with them today, but they did not come. I talked with the assistant to the director. In the contract, there was a condition for transferring the videotape to us. The condition was that it not be shown in Russia. The basis for this was the safety of journalists. We wanted to make a summary videotape, but they refused this again, citing safety reasons. And one more detail, the assistant of this company said that French television has bought this videotape and will show it on television March 11th. You can record it yourselves then, she said, but we don't advise you to show it in Russia. We cannot get this information in any way. People agree to help us, but when they find out we're from Russia, we can get no meaningful answer from them. What do you think of the report that our enriched uranium was sold through Austria to a third country? I think it is the next provocation in the fight for the market share. The enterprises of the Russian Federation, which have enriched uranium, could not be violated. This uranium could not have been sold from here. Any uranium which is sold has to be done at the government level with a document saying it will be used for peaceful purposes. Could it be stolen or underground theft of uranium? All of this uranium is in special places, which is guarded in a very strict way. And we account for all of this uranium, enriched uranium, which is used to create, for use in atomic nuclear power plants, is accounted for down to the milligram. So you see, everything is fine. The Russian atomic industry officials say that this scandal was organized by its competitors, companies in France and the United States. The chief of the general staff of the CIS Unified Armed Forces is in Peking for a visit with the Chinese leadership, including the General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party, Jian Zemin. The development by China of friendly relations with the armed forces of the CIS is in the fundamental interests of our countries, according to the Chinese leader. In the near future, the Bundestag will undertake the ratification of a German-Czechoslovakian agreement on cooperation, but the sides left one issue out of the agreement, the property of Sudeten Germans. In 1938, Hitler's Germany, with the approval of the Western powers, annexed the Sudeten land. This northwestern Czechoslovakian area had 3 million German residents. In 1945, they were deported and their property confiscated. The organization of German Sudeten Germans and their descendants are appealing for compensation for this property that was confiscated. The Czechoslovakian side is irritated with Germany's refusal to recognize the Munich Agreement as it was signed. Who can guarantee that similar claims will not come next from East Prussia? Our ships can no longer use the base at the Vietnam base of Cam Ranh Bay, according to Hanoi diplomatic sources. The issue has already been decided because Hanoi wanted to lease the base to us for $400 million a year. Russia did not accept these conditions. Western observers say that only several ships are left in the base, and the number of military personnel has been reduced to 2,000 people, according to one diplomat at the Russian embassy in Hanoi who spoke on condition of anonymity. There will be a Russian delegation arriving here to discuss the fate of the base, and the date for our full withdrawal will be determined. The countries of Southeast Asia have long been concerned with the military presence of the Soviet Union in Vietnam. Now the problem is going away by itself. But the Japanese now have a new concern. They're concerned concerned about our military presence in another place of the Pacific Ocean. We have reports, they have reports, that is, that the Russian military will transfer the ships of the Black Sea Fleet to the Far East if they cannot agree on a unified strategic forces with Ukraine. It was 5 o'clock in the morning when 2 unidentified people broke through into this military base and headed for the army. One of the guards noticed and went to investigate. He received a blow to the head from behind and lost consciousness. At this moment, his partner heard the noise and came to see what was going on. The soldier was thrown into the snow and threatened with a knife. There was a fight, and we don't know how it would all have ended if the first had not regained consciousness and shot both of the criminals. They both died. One of them was a local resident, another was a sergeant in this very unit who signed an oath to his comrades. We don't know who sent these people here. They managed to get away in an automobile. The investigation is continuing, so we cannot name the people who participated in this attack. When we visited the warehouse where they were trying to break in, there was a massive amount of ammunition and weapons. Many bandit groups, racketeers, and traders are trying to get modern weaponry, and also average citizens who are trying to somehow defend themselves from attack. We unfortunately are seeing a great increase in the number of such attacks, and I believe that, unfortunately, in the near future, it will become unmanageable. President Yeltsin will head tomorrow for a secret nuclear weapons production center at Aramaz 16. This is where the International Center for the Development of Nuclear and Laser Technology for Peaceful Purposes will be created in order to employ our scientists in a joint program with the West and to stop the brain drain from our country. Not long ago, our best students could hope for a Lenin Scholarship. Now our best graduates can hope for a Benjamin Franklin Scholarship in order to continue their education in U.S. universities. Any student of the CIS or Georgia and the Baltic countries who is under 40 years old can apply for the scholarship. You need a college diploma and fluency in English. This final criterion may make it much easier for the organizers to choose the 160 scholarship winners. Economics, law, government management, and commercial management will be the topics of study. U.S. Ambassador Robert Strauss said today that the financing of the program will come from the government in the amount of $7 million a year. This will cover all the expenses of the students to travel and live in the United States. The initiator of the project is the Senate Democratic leader George Mitchell. The goal is to support education, economic reform, and democratic transformations in the former Soviet Union. You can see the latest developments in these stories and new reports on the late news on Channel 1 at midnight. Good night. Good evening. In the Spanish city of Linares, at the International Chess Super Tournament, 3 rounds have already been played. The leader with 3 points is Artur Yusupov, who lives in Munich but is playing under the Russian flag. Yesterday, he beat the Englishman short for his 3rd victory. 2 players are 1/2 point behind world champion Garry Kasparov and Boris Gelfund from Minsk. Kasparov had to share a point with Ivanchuk, and Gelfund signed a peace treaty with Timon of the Netherlands. The winners of the Russian Incombank tennis tournament were determined yesterday, but the celebration of tennis continued today. When else could you possibly see on the same tennis court Wimbledon doubles champion Larisa Savchenko, movie director Nikita Mikhalkov, popular TV host Yuri Nikolaev, and Russian president's sport advisor Shamil Torpicha? These tennis pros and arts representatives played not for victory but only for fun. The presence of Boris Yeltsin shows that this was the main event of the tournament. tournament. The match between Kremlin Cup winner Andrei Cherkasov and the winner of the men's singles event, Alexei Filipov. This example of these two great players will help to popularize tennis in Russia. You can see the highlights on Channel 1 at 12:20 a.m. tonight. The CIS Championship in ball hockey continued today. Moscow Dynamo, who has had the worst possible season today, finally beat the Khabarovsk Army team 4-3 today, but they have no choice to win the tournament. And now a short report on the international sporting news. In the Danish capital, there is an international boxing tournament, which will be one of the first steps on the road to the Olympics in Barcelona. This is super heavyweight Jakob Jakoy beating his opponent from Croatia. We're still waiting for Anatoly Filipov from Yakutsk to box. He still has to work for his ticket to Spain. In Tunis, the national team of that country, wearing red